Hey everyone, welcome back to another wrestling review. The Four Horsemen are back together in this one. This guy just came back from the Wu-Tang concert. Wu-Tang.
Nice.
Before we get into what this episode is about, this is we're reviewing AEW's All Out tonight. I just want to let you guys know that I have a Discord server. Whenever I drop a new wrestling review, it'll be there in the Discord server. Make sure you go and give that a follow. Tell your friends. I'm trying to get to 250 by the end of the year, so let's make that happen. So with that out of the way, with me again tonight, like I said, we got the Four Horsemen today. I got Putty over to my left.
Hey,
Campo right below Putty. And Cap's right below me. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, what happened to our wrestling names? Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I want Muscles Marinara out here.
I forgot what mine was.
Muscles Marinara is telling Muscles Marinara is telling everyone out there to get this guy to 1,000 subs.
That's what I'm saying.
By the end of the year.
Join the Discord, you
1,000.
dingus.
That's it. Let's make that happen. Let's make that happen. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it. I think Campo, you and I were the only ones that watched the pre-show, right?
I did too.
You did too? Okay. Yeah. So
we start off a pre-show guy. We know this. It was a full episode of freaking Rampage, is what it was. It was an hour.
That's what I said. It was a full episode with 4 matches.
Well, when the first 2 matches ended, I forgot there was 4 matches. I'm like, how? There's no way there's one match left for this long time.
Nope. So it starts off with Tay and it's Tay Mello now. It's no longer Tay Conti.
Yeah, I think they wanted to phase out the name because it was the WWE name.
Okay. Yeah, so now it's Tay Mello and being interviewed by a local Toronto boy, RJ City, repping Toronto there. Ruby Soho and Ortiz run over Sammy with the golf cart. The match starts. Ruby Soho had like the Bull Nakano face paint on, and Ortiz had the Aja Kong face paint on. It was Sammy Guevara. I don't care for him. It was a short match. Tay pins Ruby. They retained the AAA mixed tag team champions.
Number one, this match was way better than I was expecting it to be because the first 2 matches of this series was absolute trash.
Yep.
Second, Anna Jay is like too hot for her own fucking good, and like I don't know if I can deal with it for much longer.
Yeah, she doesn't.
I don't know why they keep putting her in stupid places too. Like, get her out of the JAS. Like, I don't know. She was so over, and you made her a heel for no reason. She was
so amazing in the Dark Order.
Now she's a comic actor. I'm joking.
Yeah. The next match was Hook versus Angelo Parker. Cool Hand Ange for the FTW Championship. Hook is just like
he's taking hot.
He's taking after his dad.
I have thoughts. Like, first of all, shout out to Action Bronson. That was sick that he came out.
Yeah, dude's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah. I mean, this was a decent match too, and it's really making me think. And I was gonna save this till later, but I don't think it really matters. I think I want to see an AEW match where you have Daniel Garcia, Hook, Jericho, and Danielson. Just a technical wrestling match. Let them go ham because all Hook does is submissions for the whole match.
Yeah. And suplexes like his dad.
But that fits in perfectly with that scene. And that's my dream match right there. Minus, I would love to see Jonathan Gresham versus Zack Sabre Jr. That's like my dream
That's a
match.
dream match. May happen. We never know. He may head over to Japan. Cool. Hook goes over 3.5 minutes almost. What's his name? Menard there. Matt Menard tries to interfere. Action Bronson comes in for the save. Next, we had Pac versus Kip Sabian.
What a match.
But first, this is Kip's first match in 2 years.
And he changed his whole style of wrestling.
Yeah, because of his
injury. But I really
injury.
hate that his name is Kip Sabian, and there's also Chris Sabin, and it really makes me upset.
That's why he went blonde, right?
Yeah. But I like his pants. I like.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who he was. I'm going to be honest.
That's Penelope Ford's husband. Remember when
Boxhead?
Yeah. Remember when Miro first came in and he was the best man?
That's what it was?
Yeah, that was him.
Okay, so
Miro.
So this one, I actually, if you got remember, I've been gone for all this time, not watching everything happening. So the last time I remember, I didn't know who the guy with the box. I don't know who he is, but I do remember him as the box man in the audience. And I think
because he's shown up a few times as the box man.
No, he's been there every single week.
Yeah.
So it's like I finally saw who he was, and I was like, oh, now he's talking to the box. I said, I'm kind of liking this, but this reminds me of Snow. Oh fuck, what's his name?
Al Snow with the head.
Al
when he
Snow,
starts
Snow with the
talking
head.
to it. I was just thinking that in my head when you were saying
Exactly.
What
that.
does
That's
everybody
you're thinking
want?
of. Yes.
Hey.
And I love that though, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to do Al Snow's version of it. I don't think it's gonna be as good. You know, what
I
I
don't
mean?
know. This guy
But,
seems like he's got it. What's good? Like he got some
Yeah.
good stuff.
I
going on.
even
hope
put
he
I
makes
even
it
put
better.
here, both of these guys were wasted on the pre-show. This match should have been on the main card.
Pac is a fucking main eventer. I'm sorry for swearing.
He is. Whatever. I'm not monetized.
But it's like he's a main eventer.
He
This
is.
guy has been going around the world having
Defending.
epic matches with people defending this belt.
I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if he's kind of
They were-
frustrated where he's
You know
at,
what I'm
but
waiting
yeah,
for?
He's
But that's why they gave him the belt.
I'm
So
waiting
this way,
for the Will Ospreay versus Pac match in a New Japan event.
that will happen. That's where Pac will
100%.
lose the belt,
That's why
probably.
he's going to lose it. We talked
Yeah.
about that, I think.
Yeah, we talked about in our G1 video, but go watch that if you haven't watched our G1 review. But this was an excellent match. Like I said, this match should have been on the main card, and there are a couple shows on the main card that could have gone away or gone in the pre-show.
I agree on that
This
one,
is the first show, though, where I absolutely was not disappointed with one of the matches on the pre-card. They were all good, and I don't like Samu Guevara or Tai Mello
Or Tomohiro Ishii.
I mean, yeah, but that match discaped. So Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Kingston is the next match.
Pac goes over, retains the belt, 12 and a half minutes.
Sorry, I should say Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Kingston 2.
Yes.
But this match got everybody hyped. This match probably had the most hype in it of like all the matches. They slapped each other for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, he like busted all the blood vessels on his on Ishii's chest.
Though. Ishii can do way more than this, but this is all Eddie Kingston can do. If you ever watch an Eddie Kingston match, I love the guy. I think he's a great character and talker, but he can't do anything in the ring. He's so limited to his thing. And Ishii was just stuck slapping with this guy the whole time. But it was
because after about halfway through the match, then they start slapping each other.
Yeah, and then they stopped, and then they slapped each other again, and then they
in the face this time,
and then they did. Then after they came back to the chest again, right after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I must have missed this because I told you that I was doing stuff while I was doing this, and this was one of the matches I skipped because I think maybe I got the last part that maybe the slapping was happening. Because
if you saw slapping, that's beginning, middle, or end. It was somewhere in there.
But they slapped each other for like 5 minutes of the 8-minute match, however long the match was.
It's 13 minutes, but they must have slapped each other a good 5 minutes of those 13 minutes, at least.
At one point, it was straight, like consistently for 3 minutes of just slap, slap, or chop, whatever you want to call it. But it was a fun match.
Yeah, it was a really good match.
Ishii is a big name that I know. I wouldn't personally want this on the pay-per-view, but his name carries enough weight that it could have been. Yeah. Along with
like I said, we'll get to them when we get to them, but there were a couple matches on the main card that either could have gone without or shouldn't have, or could have been swapped on the pre-show.
For me, I'm going to tell you right now before we get into this, there's only one match in this whole thing that I think wasn't worthy of being on the pay-per-view.
Let's see if we all agree then on that match. So with that, the 0 hour goes off the air and the main show begins. We start off with the Casino Battle Royal. The participants are Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Penta, Rey Fenix, Rush, Andrade, Dante Martin, and the Joker, which is to be determined.
Was this good compared to other ladder matches we've seen recently? Absolutely.
Yes. Better than the Money in the Bank?
Yes. Claudio has been proving to me. I really do think Claudio is the next person who should wear the belt. The heavyweight championship should be Claudio. He's such an absolute monster. His skill set is so ridiculous that he can do technical wrestling and be just a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And he's so nimble and quick. It's just crazy. Like he literally lifted up the ladder with Andrade on it with another ladder. You know what was supposed to happen? He was supposed to go over the side, but he couldn't get it up because it was like stuck in that angle.
It got stuck.
It seemed like he was trying to actually just make some kind of modern design or some modern art. He was doing
Bro, he didn't want to let go because it was coming back at him, so he was like trying to lift it.
If he let go, he would have gotten pretty seriously hurt.
So powerful.
I thought the match was okay. I kind of felt like it was just going through, the motions of getting to the
Well-
next stunt and hurrying it up so that
Well,
they can tell the story at the end and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
When you find out what happens at the end, you realize what you're saying is correct. But
Yeah.
during that part of the match, I was fine with
Yeah.
everything
Now-
happening.
But,
now my
but I
question
do-
is here. Go ahead. Sorry, Kat.
No, I'm sorry. I do have a question for all you guys.
Yeah.
I don't understand the concept of having a time for someone to have like the next entrant.
So it's like a
because-
Money in the Bank meets Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but just
You know what it's for?
as per
It's-
theory, if somebody were to climb the ladder before all the entrants come
Which
in,
they made mention to.
I thought that was just kind of interesting because it's I don't know. I
This
just
is-
me
this is
personally,
this is
I
my
would have
thing.
just have everybody just start up and then go.
But I guarantee you this is what it's for.
Yeah.
He's a huge wrestling fan, Tony Khan. He knows how wrestling works. He knows that 5, 4, 3 gets everybody hyped up to see who's next, even though they know who's next.
Yeah.
But that's what it's for. I promise you that's all it is. Or else he would just put
That-
them all in the ring at once.
That and it also gives the opportunity to whoever's coming in to get their spots in.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
but
guess Martin
what was
looked
who was the
amazing.
third entrant?
Okay, so I
Roosh.
have Yuta and Ray Phoenix
Roosh.
start. It's Roosh. Roosh was the
Roosh.
third one.
I just thought it was funny because the two guys in the ring, they were racing to go up, and the guy just came through, and he was just like, acknowledging the crowd. But you got the two guys in the ring racing for the thing.
What do you mean?
up
Wheeler
top.
Yuta was climbing the ladder to get the thing on
That's
his
what he
own.
was saying,
and
yeah.
he was
That's what I'm
taking
saying.
off-
That's-
He was
that's
taking
what I'm
off all
saying.
his stuff.
And I just thought it was funny, and then the announcers actually brought it up. It's like, what's that guy doing? Like,
He
just
even
get to the
Tess
ring,
said,
get
this
to the
guy's
ring."
taking too much time out there.
Yeah,
You
I just
could
thought that
see
was kind
though,
of funny.
who is he in the ring with? Yuta?
Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, you could see though that someone outside, like one of the like producers that are ringside, was telling him you need to go because Roosh is taking too long. Because he just got up off the floor like this and
Yeah.
ran into the ring to knock him off. Because Roosh was taking his sweet ass time to come down.
Yeah, because Roosh was supposed to knock him off the ladder.
Yeah, you
But
can
yeah,
tell that's
that-
it was like a Vicky Guerrero situation where they had
Yeah.
to change it up because Eddie was climbing the ladder and didn't know what to do.
So he took off his shoe. Yeah, but I like these first three participants because it was fast paced, it was fast moving, it got the crowd into it, had very much of like that lucha style to it. As what's his name? What was the guy's name in WWE there? The little dude, the Lucha Dragons guy.
Rey Mysterio?
No, it was
Max Mini?
in the Indies. He was called Samurai del Sol, but he was doing an interview once and he said lucha things, gonna see some good lucha things. But no, they kept it a nice lucha match. Yeah. They brought in Andrade next, so now you have the tag team partners in Roosh and Andrade against Ray and Yuta. So they had it 4-on-4. El Idolo. Then it's there was that power bomb that he did from, it was like a flip
Epic.
up. Yeah, from the top of the ladder, he flipped them over the ladder and power bombed them
It
onto
was
the.
almost
Yes.
a Canadian
Oh,
destroyer.
yes.
But then someone did a Canadian destroyer onto one of the ladders,
Penta.
didn't they? Yeah,
That was Penta.
Listen, I know Putty watched.
He
this,
was
but
handing out Canadian
before-
destroyers like there's
before
nothing.
I didn't even knew Putty was watching this event. I was about to message him and be like, "Yo, you need to watch this. Penta's having his best match ever." He came in like a house of fire and just did like 5 epic fucking spots and then disappeared for the rest of the match. Well, he's so over when he does that thing when he puts his hand up. Oh my
Yeah.
god, the crowd is so nuts.
Is it me or has he lost a lot of weight
He
since
He
Penta-
does
Yeah.
seem
Looks
smaller.
way
Yeah.
more
So he
fit,
seems
and
a
Ray
lot more
Phoenix looks
athletic.
way less fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's
Then it's Claudio. That's when you had that ladder stunt that we were talking about with Claudio earlier. Then Dante Martin comes out, and this guy Taz calls him like Spider-Man. This guy's like springboarding off the ropes over Claudio onto
Yeah.
the ladder to like.
I've never seen
Underrated.
anybody use the ropes like that.
Yeah.
Except for guess who I'm going to say. Come on.
Who?
You got this. He's from Vancouver.
Oh, Jericho,
No, you're wrong. El Phantasmo.
El Phantasmo. I
The
know.
way that Dante Martin climbs off the ground
He is
immediately
so
to that
quick.
top rope. How do you balance like that? He just stands on the top rope from a jump and then jumps again.
Yeah,
he's so underrated. Like he's a future champ.
He's not
like,
underrated yet. I think he's still building to that point.
He's building
I think they're planning for him to be a big time player. Same with Sky Blue. They're dating. I think they're planning for both of them.
I think that's what this match was partially to do as well. Was I think there may be a ROH.
Isn't it a coincidence that they're all from little groups and then just he's randomly the extra guy in the ring?
Right, but
they're trying to put him over.
They're putting him over, but Claudio was in this match too. Claudio is also the ROH World Heavyweight Champion. I think this could set up a match between Martin and Claudio.
But that makes sense for what I said, that I think they're going to try to put Claudio to take the AEW championship because I think that's what everybody wants. Claudio's over us, over.
He's always been over.
He's ridiculous.
Caps has been saying it since we started this Wrestling Reviews. Back when he was in WWE as Cesaro. This guy is like...
When Penta came out and did the Canadian Destroyer on Dean, what's his name? Sorry.
Andre Martin. Dean Martin.
Andre Martin.
Dean Martin.
He literally, that was the probably the best Canadian Destroyer I've ever seen. And
like it was just so fluid.
Head was boom right off the thing.
He just ran down and just like without missing a beat.
Impactful. I freaked out. I was like, "Holy shit!" The whole crowd was going nuts, and I played it. He played out cold for a second, and I was like, "Oh, I like that."
Has a lot to do with Dante Martin for sure.
And then he does it to I think was it Andrade or to
Andre Martin? It's fucking Dante Martin.
Andre Martin. Andrea Martin.
Nice.
And then he does it to I think it was Andrade too. He does another Canadian Destroyer from the ladder onto
the rope. I mean, onto the ladder, over the ropes onto the ladder. That was amazing. Yeah.
So at this point, the Joker's coming out. It's a bunch. The Joker was about to come out.
We'll save that.
Sorry?
We'll save who it is.
No, it hasn't even been proven that that's him.
Okay.
Because they never announced it. But a bunch of masked men come out. One of the masked men climbs the ladder. He takes off the mask, reveals that it's Stokely Hathaway and all his new group there, all his people that he's been recruiting, I guess. And then for about 10 minutes, we have Sympathy for the Devil playing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was sick. It was so sick.
Yeah, it was really sick.
And
that's money for him to spend.
Right. But I also, like I said it to my brother Fab, I knew right away, just by the way this guy was moving in the ring and his manner.
Know how I knew?
How?
He got up on the ring apron and those were the kicks, the back kicks.
Okay, hold on. Is this somebody I know? Is this somebody I know?
Yes, it is.
Yes, he was wearing those Louboutins.
The little back kick though, he's the only one that does that. Like
with the feet. Yeah. Yes.
See, I was wondering that whole time when I saw him, I was like, who is that?
Well, we'll find out at the end of this.
We'll find out at the end. We have our suspicions on who it is, and most likely it is. But Stokely Hathaway gives this time it wasn't a Sonic ring, it was a casino chip.
Yeah, I know. I saw
that. He gives
it's
it to the mask.
Sonic element.
Yeah. Casino Night Zone, right? He gives a chip to this new mask guy. He's wearing like it was a sick looking mask though.
I really like the team that he's assembled. I'm really loving what Stokely's doing.
Yeah.
I just don't know how that Joker guy fits in with the wrestler group, but that's
because he's kind of a leader, and having Stokely kind of throws it off. But we'll get to this when we get there.
But when we get there, next
so Joker goes over and
at 14 minutes. Next we have our inaugural match for the AEW Trios Championship. We have the Elite of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega versus the Dark Order of Adam Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds.
Hold on one sec. Before we say anything, can I just... North Carolina! He is so sick. The whole buildup of him just taking the shirt off was epic enough.
Okay. So you guys got me prepared for him as a person. And the thing is I remember the last one we watched Campo was the one where they did that whole announcement like they did with this one, where they were talking about all the stuff that was going on. And when I heard like the Kevin Nash and everything, I was like, oh my god, fucking Kenny Omega is like fucking the most amazing person
when he
ever.
Faced Will Ospreay was the best. He has more championships than Will Ospreay. He has more minutes in the ring than Will Ospreay.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is an amazing thing they do with him. And then of course he has that whole video game implemented into his character. It's funny.
I love his entrance song. I didn't like it before, but it's it
grows on you.
I realized he is Sephiroth of the AEW because he is the bad guy, but hey, everyone loves him just like
the one-winged angel.
Yeah, dude, like he literally is. All I know is I watched this and I really did enjoy this.
This was a great match.
Yeah, it was.
This was a great match.
Epic match. Yeah.
I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it got better and better and better
as it went on.
And I can't believe how much, like, I've always said that Alex Reynolds is great and he's so underrated, but like I just grew to love John Silver. Like he's work in the ring is marinara like.
And
this guy's like only 5'5".
No, but he's jacked.
Yeah.
And he's so strong when he does feats of strength, like Festivus.
When he's able to just Festivus.
And see, because of Kenny Omega, I'm trying to force myself.
I'll gather around the pole.
Yeah, I get that, buddy. I get that.
But I'm forcing myself to like Young Bucks, but the way they look, it's too much of the Hardy Boys. Like I know they're trying their own thing, but it's just too much. I want something else. Like I'm
man.
Then go into something else. I don't know.
I'm not a fan of the characters either, but after spending so many hours digging into New Japan, like I can't not like them. Their matches are so epic.
Well, no, I agree.
Yeah,
but just like Kenny Omega does it well. Then they just feel like they really do feel like henchmen in some kind of Mario Brothers thing. Like he's like Bowser.
Yeah, but see, you missed this build up to this where they tried to get Hangman to join them, and then
but there's also, but I mean, you got to also remember there's the history between Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, former AEW tag team champions.
I know Adam Page was in New Japan, but was he in Bullet Club?
Yeah, for a while.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he was actually in Bullet Club.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
With Adam Cole too. I didn't.
Yeah,
because that makes sense now. That makes sense now. Okay.
But now I'm really upset about the Bobby Fish thing, and I know everyone keeps talking about it, but like that theme song or that entrance song is amazing.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Bobby Fish's contract is expiring at the end of September or October, I think, and they're not
refusing to resign.
They're not going to renew it.
What do you do with Kyle O'Reilly now?
But Kyle O'Reilly's out for a year.
Okay.
With a broken neck.
That's probably why they're not resigning Bobby Fish.
And Adam Cole is, I think, on a limited basis right now because he's not fully recovered either.
No, and he's also on one of those 4-year contracts like everybody else is.
Yeah.
All the big names are on long term.
Yeah, because a lot of them want out now.
They're not getting out.
No, they're not getting out. They're for life.
All right, who went over?
The Bucks and Kenny Omega, as we said we would, as we said they would.
We almost predicted this thing to the T.
Yeah.
Even the Adam Hangman may be coming in to replace 10.
Yeah, because he was hurt. Like right down to it too, and that was the whole thing. Like we knew that was going to happen because.
But who do I want for first-time champions if I'm not getting Will Ospreay and
it's Kenny Omega?
I want Kenny Omega.
Yeah, so now he is probably one of the most decorated people in all of AEW.
One of the most decorated people to ever do wrestling.
Yeah, so fantastic match. I like the fact that when what's his name went in, Page went in for the buckshot. And Omega drops to the ground, and Nick Jackson comes in and does the buckshot on Hangman. Like there was a lot of also like trios based offense too, like the neck breaker to the super. Like it's like it's choreographed almost.
This was the most New Japan match of the night. It played to those strengths of finisher. Everybody's dead. Epic comeback. Oh, one team takes the lead. Kenny Omega comes back from the ashes, kills everybody. And then, you think Kenny Omega's about to lose, and then the Young Bucks jump in, and it's over. That's New Japan.
It was very much. It was very.
You watch WWE, it would have just been like a slow back and forth, and then somebody would have won
with a cheap win or some outside interference.
Yeah, exactly. This is epic, man. Kenny Omega is really back.
Yeah. And as the matches progressed every week, it wasn't that first match we saw him back. That was either a work or he was just shaking off that ring rust.
They slowly took away his injuries, and he has no shirt on. Well, Ospreay called him out for being fat because he wouldn't take the shirt off. Remember?
Right.
And now he's like, "No, watch this. He's jacked right now too."
Yeah.
Well, Kenny Omega's always been a really big guy, muscle wise.
Yeah, he's always been a jack too. But yeah, it's fitting. This was probably one of the best matches on the card. It was a really fun match. It was nonstop action. Love, like there was that whole Page, like I said, that Page and Omega storyline, the build up to it. You know, it's going to build to something else down the line.
And that was both of our top 2 wrestlers on the AEW.
So with that match done, we're going on to our third match of the main show. It was Jade versus Athena. She-Hulk over here.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I liked Athena's costume too.
Yep.
Could not give a crap about this match at all because the build up for it was so bad. It does have 2 good wrestlers in it. This is the best Jade Cargill match I've ever seen her wrestle.
And it still wasn't that great.
Athena was like botch city.
Yeah.
Absolute botch city. She completely missed like 3 moves.
Yeah.
And Jade Cargill still went out of her way to sell for her, even though she missed all of them.
Missed all of them. I know. It was a really bad match. It was definitely not the time to change the championship. I thought Athena would be the one to take the belt off of her.
I know, but it's not.
But after that match, Athena's not the right fit for that.
No. Yeah, I couldn't believe it because I've always thought she was really good. When WWE released her, I was like, oh, she's one of the good ones. And as we got to this point, I'm like, there was no real buildup for this match at all.
No.
Nobody cares about the story because it was supposed to be Chris Statlander or Anna Jay, but then you made Anna Jay a comic act, and Statlander's injured, so you went back to Athena, who should have been the person in the first place. Yeah, and you went away from that storyline. Like, what is happening?
It was like a last-minute booking change kind of thing.
This is the match for me, by the way, that I thought doesn't deserve to be on this paper.
Yeah, I agree. Same here. This was one of the 2 matches,
but it still wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
well, it's funny you say that because I was wondering if there was going to be a light joke about, oh yeah, Putty loved this because of this.
Putty loved this.
Oh, Putty, you know what else you'd love too? That the match lasted 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, I know. This was one of those things when I realized, here's the thing, I was skipping around and I realized, like, oh, there's a Jade Cargill match. Wait, what is she dressed as? So I rewound it to the beginning and I actually watched the intro and I was like, oh, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I like this. And then the match started and I got bored already and I started doing my moving around. So I actually didn't watch the whole match, but I heard her win and I'm like, okay.
You didn't miss much. You didn't miss much.
I'll tell you what's gonna happen.
I'm serious. I'm still a fan of hers only because at least she knows how to get someone like me.
Well, she's constantly done a nerd-based thing every single pay-per-view.
She does a good job of it, yeah. So that right there.
But I'll tell you what's gonna happen. So when she does lose a match, finally, it's going to be because Layla interferes with her because she's tired of dealing with her bullshit and causes her to lose because they're not going to let her lose clean. But I can see that title is getting ready to move. It might not be this year, but it's gonna happen.
I say after 50-0.
Yeah, okay.
I think they'll let her get to 50-0.
It's 37, right?
Yeah. So
it's the same with Hook. I really think they're going to let Hook go for a long time with that streak.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Next match of the night, which was another really good trios match, was Wardlow and FTR against Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay, I actually want to steal this.
Motor City Machine Guns are sick.
Because we watched them a few weeks ago on the Ric Flair one.
Yeah,
against the Wolves.
I've never seen them before. But the whole thing to me was weird off the mat because I didn't know about this whole thing with the little girl. Like, I had no idea that stuff was going on.
Yeah. So basically, for those who don't know, Dax Harwood's 8-year-old girl had a congenital heart virus or something where she almost died, and the doctors were ready to give up. Where this girl was never wanted to give up, and she ended up surviving and is given a clean bill of health. So that's where this whole fight like an 8-year-old girl came from, was because
a fight like an 8-year-old brat.
Yeah, I saw that.
But I love Sanjay Dutt. Do you know what I never knew he was actually a pretty decorated wrestler.
Oh, he is, yeah.
Well, as was being
because they played him off like he can't fight.
As I was being introduced to this, I actually thought about it. And FTR, when I look at them, they represent the old school of wrestling in my eyes. Yep. You know what I mean? That 80s look and everything. And I like that bringing Wardlow.
So does Wardlow.
Yeah, Wardlow seems like he's more like the late 90s. Like, you know what I mean? Like
he's the Goldberg of this.
Yes, exactly.
But I wanted a TNT title match here more than I wanted this 3-on-3.
He has filled in the Goldberg thing where those two would be like I don't know who else FTR would be an example of, but my point
is FTR are basically the Brain Busters or like Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson.
They're the Midnight Express.
The Midnight Express.
That's it. Okay.
But listen, this is... Oh, you want to go? Keep going. Sorry.
Well, I just want to say this. I've always thought of that charm with them. So when this happened, at first I was like, oh, it's so gimmicky. But then I was like, I don't know. As it progressed through, I was like, I'm actually having fun with this. I'm really feeling good about the situation just because, you got to remember, we grew up with wrestling. It was still for us as kids too.
Yeah.
So to embrace that now was really comforting. And they were the only three I could see work this angle and it worked properly.
Well, here's my issue.
Jay Lethal.
They don't want to keep giving they don't want to keep giving Wardlow chances to lose the TNT title, so they're trying to minimize his actual title matches. And the same with FTR on their belts.
Yeah.
So because FTR has to defend those belts on the other shows where they actually belong, so they're trying to reduce it on AEW.
Because I think they're not going to defend the New Japan belts until
They just defended them
on which show?
on New Japan Strong's event in Nashville and then North Carolina.
Right. And then the next one's in October in New York.
So, but the what was I going to say? My issue that I have with this is they're really making Jay Lethal look like he's bad. I know he's a heel and he's not supposed to win, but like how many straight friggin' losses has he taken now just to Wardlow? And it's starting to be like, okay, this guy's way too good for this.
Yes, he's put Wardlow, like we get it. He's put Wardlow over so many times now.
But you know what's going to happen. So I wrote this down. This is one of my only very few notes. Samoa Joe coming in is setting up a 4-on-4 match where they're going to add in Satnam Singh, and it's going to be on the next ROH pay-per-view. That's what this is setting up. 100%.
I can see that. Totally.
They're just going to add Samoa Joe and Satnam Singh to the two teams, and it's going to be a Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Or
I just wanted to talk about. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, or we're going to be setting up a Samoa Joe versus Satnam for the ROH.
Satnam
TV.
can't do his own matches yet. He's not ready to do his own matches.
Sorry, Caps, go ahead.
No, I just want to give when I was watching this match, it was like I didn't think it was that great. I thought it was good. I just didn't think it was that great. I didn't think it to the level that I've seen FTR.
Well, if anyone has seen FTR versus the Briscoe brothers, we know that FTR is not in that same class. That's the best match of the year.
So I
still is to me. Yeah,
it was entertaining, but I just didn't think.
I agree with you. It wasn't like a 10 out of 10.
Because the thing is too, it's also a 6-person tag, so it's like the tag.
And we just came off a 6-person tag, so
a really high epic one.
Didn't seem that long either, too, did it?
Yeah, it kind of went. It was
about 16 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't feel like it went, but like I just know like the general time that passed by, I was like, oh yeah.
Well, that's one thing I've noticed too about this show. The matches were a little shorter than normal.
This did not feel like 5 hours. This was the least. Well, actually, Forbidden Door was pretty good at that too.
Yeah,
but including that, I watched the opener show.
Yep.
They paced this very well.
Yeah,
like at the end of the show, I was still going.
They kept most of the matches under 20 minutes, with the exceptions of the ones that needed to go that long. Even the main event was under 20 minutes. But then again, you also had a couple squash matches thrown into this as well. Like the Jade Cargill match was one of them, and a couple others on the card that we'll get to. But like the one sick move that Jay Lethal did was when he did the double lethal injection on FTR, when he does it and he just gives them both the lethal.
Well, they did the big rig on I think Chris Sabin, and then they immediately transitioned into them getting lethal injections. Like that was good.
Yeah. But that was a good spot. And then after the match, like Joe comes in, like they're outnumbered. Joe comes in for the save, and then Joe kind of like. They all run away. Sanjay Dutt's left in the ring by himself, and Dax's daughter Finley runs to the ring. They, she breaks Sanjay Dutt's pencil. I thought that was kind of like, and then moment. Yeah, and then Dax punches out Singh, and she gets the pin over Sanjay Dutt. So I thought that was kind of like, and this kid was eating it up. She loved it. Like
you could tell, but that's the whole point. Like I said,
you're a wrestler.
It was one of those things where it was just like, it felt like those 80s where you like, it had that moment, and then it worked. They knew how to pull it off, and that was surprising to me.
It had the sing-songiness of an 80s pay-per-view, where it was very happy.
The baby faces go over.
It was a lot of event around that one match, and I'm happy with it. It's not a top tier match, but like I'll take it.
It's not a 7-star FTR, but
7 stars, baby.
It just brought out the kid in me.
Up next, which another one, which was a very, very short match. This is a match that did not need to be on the card either, which was Hobbs versus Ricky Starks.
But can I tell you something?
I
will leave it because it was so short and it was the blow off of a feud, but now we realize it's not going to end here.
No.
Ricky Starks is someone that from the very moment when I met him in All Out All or Nothing, what the hell
Double
was that
or Nothing?
pay-per-view? Double or Nothing. I hated him. I've grown to absolutely love him. I think he's so good at selling that character. He's such a talented in-ring worker. He's just underappreciated. And Hobbs is such a monster, and he needs to start getting up there. My next thing is you got to do like Hobbs, or Keith Lee has to be the person that challenges for the TNT title, or Miro. It has to be like an absolute big guy, one of those three that takes it off Wardlow. Because he can't lose to a small guy.
The thing is, you take it off of Wardlow when Wardlow's ready to move to the main event picture.
Yes,
which leads to what I'm going to say.
TNT thing.
Yes, because something's going to happen at the end of the show, which could lead to that.
But anyways, my whole point is that I just think, even though this is 4 minutes and you might be like, this didn't need to be on the pay-per-view, I do think it did, because it had a lot of build up to it. And regardless of 4 minutes, I think even though it wasn't a 10 out of 10, this was worth that 4 minutes that I spent watching it.
It was short, to be
because
fair.
It's going to lead to something bigger. And I really like this rivalry. They're two really underrated guys right now.
Yeah. It gives them more of a chance to, I guess, perform, give them more output, I guess.
And when you have Taz there, and he has this insight on them, it adds a lot to 4 minutes, in my opinion.
Because What's His Nuts is gone, right? Brian Cage?
Yeah.
Not much more needs to be said. Next, you have that Hobbs goes over in about 5 minutes. And then next match is Swerve in Our Glory against the Acclaimed.
Oh, boy.
Scissor me daddy ass.
The Acclaimed are, listen, this was the loudest by far match.
Yeah.
The Acclaimed are arguably more over than FTR.
Yeah.
They are probably the most over babyface tag team.
I don't think people truly understand, like even you two understand, like the impact it had on our lives when me and JD found out that Daddy Ass was leaving the Acclaimed, because like it really affected me.
We were so like, and then he goes and joins them after. We're like,
the fact that I was never gonna get to hear "Scissor Me Daddy Ass" again. I was like,
you're getting the T-shirt, aren't you?
Bro, that the crowd. What was the song?
Right at the beginning of the.
When they're going, oh, scissor me, daddy.
And it was loud to the point where Taz was like, "There's no way this is happening."
I can't. Okay, so I didn't,
because originally that song was for Swerve in Our Glory. It was Swerve in Our Glory.
It starts out and then it cuts off in the middle, and people started singing the other song, and it picked up. Listen,
oh, scissor me, daddy. It was they did it twice.
I like Keith Lee. I never was a Swerve fan. I grew to like them building up in the tag team, like when we did our tag team list.
Yeah.
But like over the last couple of weeks of them defending the title, I just don't think they're that good together.
No.
I think they're better off not together. Their tag team matches are just rinsing.
And they tease that. They tease that at the end. Yeah. They totally tease that at the end. Because I noticed throughout the whole match, Swerve is the only one playing a heel in the match. Whereas Keith Lee is doing that mutual respect with them.
Keith Lee was like, you could see it. So give me like 1 minute of time. I don't think this was meant to make Swerve in Our Glory heels. I think this was just made to put Acclaimed into the spotlight. Because you could see the buildup. They never really put them down. They're saying, you need to better yourself. You guys are better than this, even though Acclaimed are dissing them the whole time. When it got to the match, Swerve completely embraced that heel. Keith Lee was upset that he was getting booed. He did not like that. He was like, what happened? I'm supposed to be a face. And now you could see they're going to get 100%. They're going to get forced into being heels.
Oh, yeah. And Keith Lee being the internet sweetheart that he is, like.
Exactly. He doesn't like being a heel.
It doesn't help that this botch situation happened, though. I'm surprised that it wasn't even brought up into the situation. You know what I mean? So didn't the referee miscount the original count?
No.
He was supposed to. Keith Lee messed that up. He didn't move fast enough to get there, so he had to slow down.
I understand they messed up in the thing, but honestly, though, wouldn't that have actually been a 3 count? Because even people in the audience like, okay,
yes,
dude,
but they were not. The match was not supposed to end there.
No, I get that.
If this match were booked by Triple H, the 3 count would have happened because the referee is told in WWE never to stop a count, no matter what.
Okay, even if he didn't do that bad of a job.
No.
It was perfectly Uno. That was Red Shoes, because Red Shoes is the specialist of that scoop on the third thing to make sure he doesn't hit the mat. Because in New Japan, there's always a 3 count that doesn't make it.
Yeah. The visionary fall.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the reason I bring that up is because based on what happened to the match, if they would have actually done the 3 count, I think this match would have been I think Keith Lee and them would have been safe because it would have been of a neutral thing. That botch right there, I think, then put them over even worse as heels because it makes them look bad for accepting the championship. And at the same time, because they did the shake, they did the Scissor Me Daddy. Say it out loud.
That really confused me, though. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Why did you scissor me daddy ass with Mr. Ass and not with the people you just wrestled with?
Yeah, right.
Well, what's his name? Keith Lee goes to Daddy Ass does it, but it's Bowens that did not do it. Bowens didn't do it to him.
Yeah, and neither did
Caster, Max Caster.
Max Caster's really good in the ring, man.
Oh my God, did you see him lift Keith Lee?
Yeah, bro. Him and Bowens is good too. He sold that knee like a champion.
Yeah.
That's
after they were saying, like, your partner's always letting you down. Always getting.
Cannot.
Go ahead, buddy.
I'm sorry. I've got to say this, though. Out of context, though, when you're saying daddy ass scissor me, this is the kind of stuff that when people walk in, you just can't say it that way.
Join right now and scissor me daddy ass. Listen, if the Acclaimed ever win the championship, the roof is going to blow off whatever stadium they're in. I've never seen anybody get noise like that. That was like insane levels of noise.
So I was watching this with my wife, right? And I said, when we're going to the event in New York, I'm going to say scissor me daddy ass and you're going to do it. She's like, no, I'm not. I go, yes, you are.
Scissor me mommy ass.
Honestly, I think the match was fantastic, but I think those three should be in the trios match for the titles.
I would watch that too
because
the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass.
Yeah, I think that would be a lot more
that would be amazing.
I would love that.
Can you imagine those three against like
W. Morrison and the Ass Boys
and the Ass Boys? Oh,
yeah. Honestly, this whole introduction of the trios thing is going to make some really big changes in wrestling.
Yeah. Wait till they bring in the women's tag belts.
They're setting that up so well. Trust me, you keep saying more titles. I'm saying more titles. There's not enough titles because I don't want to watch the dumb matches on weekly TV that don't mean anything. I only want to see title matches like New Japan. Just keep piling in titles. I don't freaking care. It's like I'm watching WWE. Every pay-per-view, there's no intercontinental title. There's no.
There was one this weekend.
But you know what I mean. It's like, what's the point of having such little titles? You don't even defend them ever.
But it made sense having the intercontinental match.
One group of people has every title in WWE.
Yeah, that's true. And they still do. Spoilers for Clash of the Castle.
Sorry, I'm upset. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it was a really good match. It was one of the longest matches. It was 23 and a half minutes. But it really put the Acclaimed over. And I can see this happening. Like the Acclaimed will beat them because Swerve and Keith can't work together. It's going to lead to a breakup because I know how much you love those, Campo. And that's eventually what it's going to lead to. And
I think Keith Lee's better off on his own. I really think he
belongs in the TNT picture. That's where he belongs.
So I think that's happening. Up next, we have the women's four-way match for they've said it so many times, the interim. It's not for the actual championship. It's for the interim. So technically Thunder Rosa is still champ, but this is only like they did with Moxley. It's until Thunder Rosa comes back.
It counts on your record as a championship. And before we even start this, let's go. This match was sick. Like this is the best women's match I've seen in a long time. I don't even know how long.
Yeah.
Like absolutely four disgustingly good wrestlers.
Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, and Britt Baker.
Britt Baker has week by week recently just been impressing me. You know how much I didn't like her in the beginning. Mm-hmm. She's actually improving.
And to be fair, like nothing against Britt Baker, she was actually the weakest one of the four.
By far. Shida's selling is like Japanese, like top tier.
Yeah.
And my only thing is her in-ring work is sloppy. She has a really good moveset, but she constantly has like little slips and slides that throw her off.
She needs to tighten. She needs to tighten up her moves a little bit.
But her getting hurt and coming back, that was nice. You know my feelings on Toni Storm already. That's number one on my list.
I did think
on my list.
But I thought it was a little bit sloppy. Like it was a little bit sloppy.
If you
and I thought the wrong person went over.
I know.
I thought what's not Britt Baker, the other
Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter.
I thought
they're
she
they're
was
not going to
over.
give it to her because they
No.
need to
Because they
preserve
have
that
to
tag
put
team.
a-
the tag team division.
And see,
That's
Campo,
why.
you said since the beginning, because I remember when Tony Storm came back, you were like back off her, that kind of thing, because you were talking about how
Back off.
Yeah, exactly.
back off.
My point whole thing is though, you were also talking about how they might be pushing for her to lead into the title.
I knew it right away. Tony Storm is one of the most underappreciated talents of WWE. Like they just said, no, you're gone. Like, we're not signing you. Okay. And then she went overseas and did a bunch of epic shit and then signed to AEW.
Mrs. Juice Robinson.
This is my number one.
What's her finisher? I thought her finisher was that pile driver.
It's the Storm.
The Aya Storm. I have the Storm.
Is that what it's
Which
called?
is what? That DDT?
Yeah.
No, it's a pile driver.
Is it the pile driver?
But she finished off her opponent with a DDT.
Because that's her other. That's like her secondary.
Okay.
They're called the signature move. There's a finisher, and then there's your so like the choke slam is Undertaker's signature move,
but the tombstone
is his finisher.
Yeah.
So, that I mean, that was I loved the ending. I was not expecting it to happen there either.
That quick,
like, boom, and
even though it was a long match,
Hayter sold that friggin' DDT.
Yeah,
amazing. She went like head spike right into the thing and like flipped over. Oh,
I thought she was legit hurt. The only thing that confused me a little bit was when Sheeta's when Jamie's carrying Sheeta on her back and just kind of like rolls her over onto the entrance ramp. Britt comes running in with the kendo stick, but she doesn't use the kendo stick. So I'm like, is it a no DQ? If I had the kendo stick and you're on the ground, I'm hitting you with the kendo stick.
That's DQ.
But Sheeta came into the ring and started hitting everyone with kendo sticks and didn't get this call.
Because it's a four corners match. It's a fatal 4-way match. It's no DQ.
Oh, okay.
So
also we basically are loosely no Japan. We're loosely New Japan rules here, where it's like it's a disqualifying. You hit him with the chair.
It's the opposite. It's the opposite. In New Japan, if you're on the outside and you get hit with the chair, that's perfectly legal. If you're in the ring, then it's a disqualification.
But it's not New Japan.
Is it a disqualification?
Fine line.
Debatable. He has a wrench.
Don't let that take away from how good this match was. How amazing Jamie Hayter looked in this match. They put Jamie Hayter on a whole nother level now.
Listen, who was number 3 on my list?
Going to cause jealousy.
Yeah,
who was number 3 on my goddamn list? Jamie Hayter. I've been preaching it since day one. Jamie Hayter is so good. I'm just waiting for Riho to come back, if that's ever going to happen. But hey, Tony Storm, baby, my number 1. Let's go. I'll take that all day. And when she fights Thunder Rosa, she's going to demolish her, and it's going to be okay.
Oh, Thunderstorm is over with too. I just thought about that.
Yeah, that's right. Thunderstorm is done.
No, they're going to New Japan it, and they're going to shake hands and like respect the art.
That would be awesome because again, I like that Thunderstorm idea. That was amazing.
Campo, you and I called this when we were talking a few weeks ago when Thunder Rosa left the injury. We knew right away there's
only 2 options. It had to be her or Sheeta because they can't give it to Hayter to break up the team, and they're not going to give they're not going to give Britt Baker any more titles.
You want to Caps? You want to give some context as to she's hurt?
I don't know the real story, but I just know that there's like.
All right, I'll tell you. She has a lot of heat backstage. Multiple female wrestlers don't like her, and to the point where she is scared of going to work. Tony Storm doesn't like showing up to the arenas because one night she botched a move on Jamie Hayter and she spent the whole night hiding in a bathroom while Jamie Hayter stood outside waiting for her to come out.
Looking for
Thunder Rosa.
Oh, okay. You said, I think you said Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thunder Rosa.
It was Thunder Rosa.
But apparently she has a lot of heat. Apparently Hayter has a lot of heat too. Apparently Hayter and Britt Baker don't actually like each other. And Britt Baker's scared of Jamie Hayter.
I'd be afraid of Jamie Hayter too. She'd kick my ass too.
Yeah, she's strong.
I think the only reason why they are on the same page is because of Thunder Rosa. And
I think that DMD has a lot of clout, and it helps Hayter a lot. And leaving that is going to hurt her career. So you don't want to do that
unless you want to turn Hayter babyface. Not just yet, but
even like Thunder Rosa, you could say whatever you want. Jade Cargill, any of these people, nobody has clout like Britt Baker does in AEW.
Yeah, exactly. That's why she won the Owen Hart. Her and her husband. Up next, another squash match: Christian Cage against Jungle Boy.
Yeah, this was okay. I want this. This is what I'll say.
Again, this was
story.
It is, but this was another one that was supposed to be the blow off to a feud. which never happened.
When you showed me this on the card, I would never say take this off the card. That's why I only said there's one on here for me.
Yeah,
because
makes sense.
At the end of this, I didn't like what happened, but it advanced the storytelling more, so I still kind of liked it. But this still arguably you didn't need this.
Yeah, it was literally a 20-second match. Jungle Boy's coming out with Luchasaurus, and Luchasaurus choke slams him onto the.
He's got grill marks on his back.
That was Taz. He's got grill marks on his back.
Taz cut everybody off like 7 times there. So, I'm sorry. Just he's got grill marks. It's deplorable, despicable.
Yeah, but
he reminds me of Wallace Shawn in The Princess Bride.
Inconceivable. And then there's the guy going to him. I don't think you know the word. What do you think it means? What it actually means?
That's how I literally feel about Taz. I don't think he knows what I'm telling you. It's word of the day. He pulls off the thing. And
The calendar.
Like,
there's the picture of little Dilbert on the corner. Dilbert's in the corner. But it was a short match. Then he power bombs Jungle Boy through the table. Your favorite referee, Campo, asking if Jungle Boy can continue. Can you continue? I can stop the match. Any other referee would have not let that match start.
I don't even care. It's just I don't want to talk about it.
So they end up starting the match. He does the kill switch almost immediately, and it's over in 20 seconds. This feud clearly is going to continue. I'm just tired of the flipping and flopping with Luchasaurus.
I kind of liked it because
really,
if you're watching this week to week, you know that he didn't change back to normal Luchasaurus. He stayed as like dark. He stayed as like dinosaur Luchasaurus.
I kind of agree with Johnny Donuts here. I don't know where that guy stands. Like, so I'm assuming next week he's gonna flip flop back.
No, he's not. It's over now. This is the point. This was the proving ground.
There was no progression. I didn't know what.
Yeah, grill marks.
I guess
the grill marks are flamboyant. That's not what you think it means. Yeah, the flames.
The flames. They're flamboyant. I think you're right, though. It does, I think, set up Luchasaurus to be permanently with Christian.
And Christian is going to gain a person, maybe Marco Stunt. I hope not, but
no. But yeah, and Christian's shirt too. Instead of outwork everyone, he goes, I worked everyone.
And I like that. I'll buy that shirt.
Yeah. But then they set up that little match between Death Triangle and the Best Friends on. Not
upsetting me. That's a great
I'll
match.
Take that. I'll
Give
take
me a little Danhausen outside. I love manager Danhausen.
I actually missed that. Oh my god, because I was skipping ahead and everything. I missed that.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, we go.
I gotta go back and rewatch it now.
Talk about a guy that's getting ripped off, Orange Cassidy. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, they're trying to do what they can. Talk about a guy that's getting ripped off, Danhausen. They're pretending this guy can't wrestle. We know that he's one of the better wrestlers.
But I mean, at least Orange Cassidy back at Forbidden Door had that showcase against Will Ospreay.
Best match of the night.
That was the match.
What's he done since?
Not much.
He had a couple great matches. Yeah, he has. Then. The Wardlow match was really good.
Oh yeah, the Wardlow match.
They're using him now as like an enhancement talent, which is I don't like. I agree with you on that.
But if you ask Jim Cornette, he's not a main eventer.
You know they're going to win the Trios Championship at some point.
At some point, yeah.
Ask Jim Cornette. I wouldn't ask Jim Cornette anything. No. Jim Cornette still thinks the Rockers are good.
Anyway, I don't want to get it.
All right. So
sorry,
with that,
I meant the Rock and Roll Express.
We're going to get into our next match, which was another fantastic match. You had Chris Jericho against Bryan Danielson. Chris Jericho comes out with that old school Lionheart gimmick, complete with like the White Zombie theme song.
With his underwears coming out of his pants every 2 seconds because he can't keep his pants on.
I think Chris Jericho is one of the best of all time. Like it's. I don't think anybody can argue with that. Like he looks at Shawn Michaels as his mentor, or someone that's better than him. I think he's better than Shawn Michaels.
Oh, he's better than Shawn Michaels. His longevity has made his career arguably better than Bret Hart.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Listen, we have our list, and I'm gonna stick with Bret Hart.
Yeah,
but I mean, as we progress here, Chris Jericho arguably has the best career. Like maybe Undertaker is kind of up there.
Well, I'll say
we'll have to win till he retires.
He's a better wrestler, but like
well, see, that's
Kenny Omega's the best wrestler.
Okay, well, yeah, we all love Kenny Omega, but I'm just saying the Chris Jericho situation is the one other thing I like about him is at least he's able to change himself and grow himself even as a villain character.
But then again, he brings back old gimmicks too.
Brings back old gimmicks. He's able to stay.
He has been multiple people.
Yeah,
he's been able to keep up with Bryan Danielson
for 25 minutes.
Let me talk about this match. I want to talk specifically about this match. I don't like the fact that they let him look really bad in this match. Chris Jericho got his ass kicked from one end to the other. I don't care if he's like, oh, he made a comeback. That's cool. No, he did not look good here. His wrestling was good, but they made him look terrible. Like Bryan Danielson was just walking all over him. And we just saw Chris Jericho literally whoop Jon Moxley for a whole match. So you're not going to even remotely make me think that after we watched Bryan Danielson get his ass kicked by Daniel Garcia, that Chris Jericho got his ass kicked for 20 minutes here and then somehow won. There's no way.
This was definitely a competition based on who had more technical aspects of their moves, and it was enjoyable. Don't get me wrong.
A lot of submission based,
but it's a great match. But I just can't be expected to believe that.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing. It's a great match, but I will also say it drags a little bit when it's a submission after submission after submission. It's like, oh, come on, someone just
a lot of rest spots.
Yeah, and that's the thing is sometimes, especially when you're trying to focus on it, there's a lot of, again, like myself, the way I had to work it today and not be able to literally just focus on it. I love those kind of matches, but sometimes I want the attention to be brought back to it, and it's so hard in those things because they're doing. And I think that might be a good resting point because I feel like even the audience was kind of like, it was good. They were cheering, but I feel like at this point in the show, it was still great, but this might have been a little bit of the slowdown point.
Yeah.
And then it was like, maybe depending on how you felt, whether again the night went good or bad at that point. So, but I still enjoyed it. I'm just saying, it's very technical.
I just think, and this is not to take away from him because I've grown to actually like Bryan Danielson, where I have not grown to like Jon Moxley. I love everybody in BCC except Jon Moxley.
Yeah, it feels like he doesn't belong there.
Yeah,
Claudio's a pure wrestler. Wheeler Yuta's a pure wrestler. Daniel Bryan's a pure wrestler.
Moxley's and Daniel Garcia's going to be a pure wrestler in the BCC.
And Jon Moxley's just a brawler.
Yeah, and he has zero skill level. But so in this match here, I genuinely think after watching this and watching the two Daniel Garcia matches, that Zack Sabre Jr. would throw a beat down to Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson, absolutely.
His friggin' things that he was doing in the G1 tournament, like literally flipping around in a circle and turning one move into another move, it made the Claudio match look like nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I could not believe some of the stuff he did in the G1 tournament in terms of just fucking
except that 40-second loss to
Naito. He also has a 40-second win against Evil. So
that's true. But like I said, it was a great work rate. It had that old school WCW feel to it.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it felt like early mid 90s WCW, like those cruiserweight matches that we used to watch.
A lot of this is starting to feel like that.
You know what this felt like? This felt like watching Malenko and Jericho 25 years later.
That makes sense. Yeah.
This felt like a Malenko versus
Guerrero.
No, what's his name?
Alex Wright.
Oh my god, same time. Yeah, that's it. You want sexy party?
Alex Wright.
No, Alex Wright is a really good wrestler. Like, I don't want to dog them.
He's a really good trainer now too.
He has a wrestling league in Germany.
Yeah. So what ends up happening was they corner Campo's favorite referee into the corner. So when she does not want to get hit, Jericho kind of low blows Bryan Danielson, Judas effect, and Jericho goes over. That's the only thing I didn't like. After such a good match, I didn't like the way this match ended.
But they had to explain it, which I'll get to this later. Because you know how my feeling on all these Jon Moxley matches where he got beat for 20 minutes out of 22 minutes and then somehow did one move and won. And I'll get to this later. But I'm just getting really tired of AEW building their matches like this. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. But I mean, Jericho goes over. Anything else anybody want to add to this one?
Good match. It was a good match.
Right. Next was, I think, another match that didn't need to be on the card.
Okay. I think this was a good match, but I just don't understand the logic they have between this and Revolution and even not Forbidden Door. What was the other one?
Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing, where they feel like these weird Darby Allin blow-off matches need to be the semi-main event. Well,
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like
Maybe
I
Sting
like
has
Darby
something in
Allin,
his-
but he lately has proven to me that he only has one set of moves, and that's all he can do. If we don't go full extreme, he can't do anything in the match.
Yeah, he needs to be in these plunder matches.
Yeah, he gets his ass kicked. Like absolutely demolished. What am
My
I
God.
watching this for? Sting is taking 19 kicks to the face like a beast, and I love
And
it.
no selling.
I love that. And then Darby Allin gets flicked and he's bleeding and he's flipping over the ropes 8 times. And how does his face paint always come off and no one else's face paint comes off?
Sting's never came off.
I'm sorry, I get upset.
Yeah,
Passion.
yeah, but
I wasn't
like
too crazy about this match.
It was a
either.
good match, but it wasn't like
it wasn't
It wasn't
it's
anything
not,
that we've seen before.
yeah, but it's also not a co-main event. Like
this should have been the
No.
starting match. This should have been the opening match.
Yep. Like Kenny Omega's match should have been pushed up, and this should have been way back. Honestly,
Kenny
I will
Omega's
say.
match should have been the finals.
Yeah,
Should have
yeah,
been the main
I
event.
agree.
should have been the
I
main
agree.
event. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't too much of a thing. What's his name? He loses. The House of Black lose. Darby Allin gets the win.
Can I just say something though?
Mm.
Like on a completely side note, Julia Hart is going to be an absolute monster in AEW. They're building her up like so slowly. I don't even think people notice it. She's constantly putting on new skills and doing new moves every match. And she's like undefeated in the last like 15 matches.
Yeah, maybe
And-
it's Julia Hart that dethrones Jade Cargill.
Hey, maybe. Well, I don't think she's big enough, but maybe she'll spit the mist in her face or something.
Right,
And
Black
that will
Mist.
give Jade Cargill an out. But
Yeah,
you want to talk about underrated wrestlers in AEW? She's number one for me.
yeah. Julia Hart is him and what's his name? Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson.
Pillman Jr. is going to get out. He's going to leave AEW.
But yeah, a short match, 12 minutes. Darby goes over. And then it's our main event of the night, CM Punk versus John Moxley 2, after the beatdown a couple weeks ago that Punk took.
How
What's
long
up?
was this match? Go
20
ahead, no.
minutes roughly.
Okay, go Nick. Go.
Was it 20 minutes?
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes.
So go. You go.
Yeah, no. I know you don't like
Either
Jon
of them.
Moxley.
Either
But-
of them.
At this point, I can't watch a CM Punk match. Like
No, I agree
dislike
with
him
you.
so much that I would have rather had.
I
Moxley
agree with
beat
you.
him.
And it's not a heel thing. It's genuinely, I think he's absolute human garbage. He treats people so poorly outside of AEW that I just can't get behind him. And
I
he's
didn't
not
even
the
like the
same
build-up.
wrestler. He's
I
not
did
the
not
same
like the
wrestler. I didn't
build-up.
like it either. He's
It
not
was-
the same
And now I know
wrestler.
why they did it. Moxley unified the belt in his hometown in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, he's
They
Cincinnati,
didn't need to
but
do
yeah.
But
that
still.
though.
Sorry?
They didn't even need to have that match.
No, but
That
this
was
is
his
what it was.
idea. That was Mox's idea.
You know what
I
this?
didn't get
you
it.
know,
Like,
you know what it
Moxley
genuinely?
has-
No, this was protection for CM Punk to make him look like now in this match he made a comeback from an injury. So you let John Moxley look good, but you made CM Punk look better because he came
Yeah.
back from double injury and now he beat this guy. You lost for 19 minutes and 55 seconds of a match and then did
Yeah.
one fucking move and one. I'm so tired of this booking. Look at me throw this thing.
The
I'm so
exact
tired of this
opposite,
booking.
the exact opposite of
Of the
Moxley.
John Moxley matches. Stop doing this. I hate this.
I didn't. I wasn't. I don't know. I didn't like it at all. Like
Chris
Moxley's
Jericho
greatest
should be
strength.
champion.
Moxley's greatest strength is his ability to do promos. I don't think he
And I
even
don't
did
even like
any.
him
I don't
anymore.
like
This
that.
About this
thing- yeah, I
build-up.
know. You don't like the way that I'm moving around right now, brother.
But it just felt like
Sorry.
it just felt
I
like
get passionate.
Punk. I
Putty's
just
like-
felt like Punk requested Moxley not to do any promos because Punk didn't want to get his feelings hurt or some shit like
Then
that.
Punk
Like
came out with that
like, you know what I
one
mean?
promo
It's
and
like-
it was a
just
straight
like
pipe
with
bomb. Like
all
fuck
this
off.
other crap that's going on. But you know what? To be honest with you, it was easily forgettable. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was a nothing
watching
match.
without watching it. You know
This
what I
is
mean?
the worst main event of
In a
all
while.
the AEW
Okay,
main events
okay.
we've had. It still deserved to be on the card, but neither one of them. I'm not going to take away from CM Punk and his majority of his career where he could wrestle. I absolutely will not. I know I
He's
don't
a little
like him,
long in the tooth
but he
now.
could wrestle. But at this match was like two people who don't know how to wrestling. It's just like, you know what the trick is? We're gonna bleed. Let's just
Yeah.
bleed.
And let me just bite him for about 10 minutes of the match.
Hey, I'm
Or-
wrestling the
or-
guy that should have lost to Jericho and Take a shitta. Like, get the hell out of here.
Or elbow each other in the side of the face for like a good
Or
5 minutes. Like the
elbow.
Okay.
Yeah.
like that's all I saw.
Jericho should have beat him.
Yeah. Takeshita
should have beat him.
If are we
Freaking
allowed
that
to say what
stupid
happened
hillbilly
after?
rapper guy should have beat him. What the hell was his name? Irving Santana or something? I don't remember what the hell his name was.
Listen, at the end of am I allowed to say what happened after?
Yeah, go ahead. Punk goes over. Punk wins in 20 minutes.
If
Wait,
MJF,
wait. Putty wants to say something.
Well, no. Here's my thing. When I saw this match, and I just want to say this before we move on. When I saw this match, I was sitting here, and here's my thing. I told you I was doing stuff throughout the day, and I was sitting here, and I made time for a certain match. I said, "Well, I got to make time. This is the main event. I got to make time for it." So I sat down. I had the rest of my dinner. I started watching it. I started realizing I was looking at a box and thinking, "How can I move this stuff?" Because I was getting bored with the match. Right? Here's my way of looking at Moxley and CM Punk, in a nerdy term. Moxley just seems like one of those side characters that are just the beat 'em up guys.
Yes, he's a mid-carder.
Yeah, he's basically one of those beat 'em up guys that actually
Mance Warner.
Yeah,
Mance Warner, baby.
Before you fight the big boss or anything like that. He might be like the girl that had the whip, that kind of thing. You know what I
he's
mean?
the Triple H. He's the Triple H of AEW.
And then of course you have CM Punk that doesn't seem like he should be the main boss of the whole thing. He should be the main boss of the
and
first
CM
level.
Punk is the Shawn Michaels, not skill-wise, but like he just cries until he gets what he wants. He shouldn't be the champion.
This looks so generic to me. It got so boring. And I was sitting there going, how am I going to tell them that I hate this match? And as we were going through and you guys were saying this was the worst match of all the other ones we were going through them. And
it's not the worst match.
It's not the worst match of the night.
But it's just the way that they planned it, JD.
I've been
complaining about this to JD for like 2 months about this goddamn booking for Moxley. Yeah. And then they reverse booked it for
CM Punk.
For CM Punk. And it's like, you as a Punk fan, you have to admit, you did not. He was getting beat so bad, and they don't New Japan it, where it's like this slow build-up comeback, like when Yoshihashi came back, and you're like, you really like that win. It was like out of nowhere, GTS, and the match was over. You're like, what the hell did I just watch?
Yeah, it was almost like a finish out of nowhere.
Punk should demolish Moxley in a match. It should not have been the other way around.
Yeah. I mean, at first I thought it was actually going to be that quick with that GTS right at the beginning of the match. And I thought, oh shit, are we going to do a 2-minute main event? Like,
but you knew it wasn't because there had to be blood soon.
Yeah.
A lot of blood.
Always
a lot of blood.
Bleeds like
both of these guys are blood guys.
I'm surprised Mox didn't bleed in this match.
Yeah, Moxley literally could be walking down the ramp and bleed. Like he bleeds in a Samoa Joe literally bleeding just by coming out.
Just walk into the ring. Reminds me, Caps, do you remember in ECW Steve Carino?
Mm-hmm.
Steve Carino, like a gust of wind would come and he'd like be pouring blood. Late breeze and the guy's bleeding.
I'm just imagining Moxley in a Starbucks and just getting his coffee and just starts bleeding.
He just blades at the Starbucks and he's bleeding.
He's like, this is normal.
You just look at some of those guys' heads. Abdullah the Butcher, like there's no head left. It's just
Devon Dudley.
Yeah, Devon Dudley, exactly.
Yeah, they all got it. Flair's got it too.
Yeah.
Flair's head looks like a pile of mush if you saw the Flair event.
Like, all he has to do is just starts bleeding.
He bleeded in the match. He's like 90 years old and he's bleeding.
He bled in his final match.
Okay, so now Caps, drop yours.
Go ahead about the.
If MJF does not win, this will be completely bullshit.
Okay, that's your joke, honestly, you jackass.
Because I want to see MJF. Like, I think they're trying to make MJF a face, and I think his biggest mistake was doing this to the crowd. Because I don't think he should have done that because he got a little bit of a pop when he came out.
He got a huge pop.
So doing the middle fingers to the crowd, I think was a big mistake. I think they're trying to transition MJF into being a face and Punk into a heel, just based on what all the.
Whereas I can counter that because going back to what we were saying earlier in the night too, this leads up. Yes, there's speculations. It was not revealed, but there's speculations that MJF was the Joker. And you could
show it?
No.
Okay. Here's the first thing I need to ask.
I swear they showed it.
The whole thing with MJF.
Did they?
He took the mask off and he put the scarf on.
And he put the scarf on.
Yeah, that little voice message thingy, which now I know it's a work anyway because what owner of a company airs out their dirty laundry like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's.
But see, here's my thing though. With the whole thing with MJF, where was I going? I forgot what I was saying now.
about the reveal, how he was a Joker, where they're going with the match.
Well, no. Here's my thing. The whole thing that happened before, where he did the where they cut the cameras, or he was at the event and he was cussing out the crowd and everything and all that.
Yeah.
Was that set up now? Because it seems
That's
like
a work.
it was
Totally was a work.
Okay, so
it was totally
okay.
a work.
Because I'll admit, out of AEW, that was a pretty good work. I mean, the thing is, that's kind of hard to, I feel like, in a lot of companies to pull, because
only one company pulls those things off. WCW.
Yeah. So, I mean,
it's very reminiscent of the Summer of Punk in 2012, when Punk wanted to leave the company and he left with the belt. Remember, and I think that's what they're going to do with MJF.
That was a work too.
Yeah, it was totally was a work. And Punk ended up, remember, he defended the belt on indie shows and stuff like that. So I think they're doing the exact same thing, but I don't think they're going to turn MJF heel or babyface. They're going to keep Punk babyface. MJF will beat Punk, but that's going to do a year-long buildup of Wardlow winning the belt from MJF.
You know what's funny? All of the major outlets on YouTube were all I'm not even joking. We're all predicting that MJF was going to come interfere with the match for Moxley, and him and CM Punk were going to become a team.
That's what Fab thought too. My brother, he thought they were going to join together and become a group. But he did, in some ways, he did join a group and join a faction.
I really like what they're doing there. I really like it. And they're a heel faction, so it works.
Yeah.
It gives him back his Pinnacle. So
which the Pinnacle had their match tonight.
Yeah.
Where is 10? What's his name there? Sean Spears.
He's injured.
Is he? Okay. But that's our final scene of the night. The Joker was I guess I must have missed that. The Joker, because I thought he would have come out with the whole group and the casino chip. That's what I was expecting.
They did a little video package where
I saw I didn't see him take off the mask. I saw him put on the scarf.
Yes, because basically they turned him around.
If you can watch it on YouTube, they have additional film where he comes out on the stage and he's in front of Punk on the thing.
Darn, they should have kept that going though. That I love that angle. That whole Joker angle.
I would have liked them to reveal that on Dynamite or something.
Yeah, do something.
Have people tune in.
Maybe
they're going to tune in anyway.
Yeah. They're going to tune in now to see what's going to happen now. But overall thoughts on the show, guys. A grade.
Okay, I'll go first.
Sure.
So I'm going to say the best match of the night was the trios title. And the worst match of the night was Jade Cargill versus Athena. And you might think that probably wasn't, but yes, because the other two weren't even matches. So I'm not going to say, and I like Powerhouse Hobbs versus thing. So I'm going to say that was the worst match.
That worked for the story.
I'm gonna say consistency wise, I know Forbidden Door was really well played out, but including the fact that the 4 pregame matches were so good, I'm gonna give this an 8.5. I think this is the best pay-per-view AEW's done this year.
Over more than Forbidden Door.
Yeah, because the opening matches for Forbidden Door sucked. I think the fact that you fit in 4 good matches before this even started, and then you carried it on for 4 hours, and I did not get bored of it the entire time. Because even your crap matches were so short that I can't be upset. Yes, the main event wasn't what I wanted, but it was still a good match.
Yeah. True.
It wasn't the outcome I wanted, but it was a good match.
Yeah. Who wants to go next? Putty?
Hold on.
I was going to go next.
8.4.
I was going to go next, but then Campbell's kind of changed my perspective a little bit.
Okay, I'll go next then.
Okay, Putty, go ahead.
So mine is at a 7, and I think it's because I didn't see it that much, but the parts I did see, I did enjoy. I mean, here's the thing though: that match that you're talking about is you were talking about the best. Okay, best for me would be the Kenny Omega, the championship match. I don't know the female match too though. The female one was amazing. Not Jade Cargill one, but the one for
the 4-way match.
Yeah. But again, Kenny Omega he's on
another level.
Come to life. Yeah, exactly.
He's literally a 7-star rating in the flesh.
Yeah. You guys. I'm in the Omega fandom now. So anyway, and then the last one is the one you guys were talking about. Okay, I'm actually not into the Powerhouse Hobbs and the Ricky Starks.
It's 4 minutes.
No, not that. I mean, the characters. They don't. There's nothing interesting. There's nothing there. It makes me even though it's 4 minutes, it's just. There was no me. And Cargill came out as She-Hulk. She gets bonus points for that for me, and that's just my world. You know
Your
what I mean?
bonus
So,
points give it a 7.
I don't give a shit. You know, what I mean? No, that's the 7 of the score is because of the other stuff.
Okay, so what was the best match? What was the worst match?
I said Omega and I said Powerhouse.
I didn't
best
know
match
that.
in
I
Powerhouse.
sorry, I don't listen when you talk.
That's what. Yeah, see, you're an ass. Anyway,
Okay, let's go to someone who actually knows what they're talking about. Caps.
Oh God. Yeah, I was just listening to what you were saying before, and I just have to rethink it. But you know what? I'm gonna go with my original thought, and that was 7 out of 10. You're right; it did flow a lot better. I just thought that in prior pay-per-views, there were a lot quality-wise. It was they had better matches in prior pay-per-views. I thought this one flowed better. I thought the matches were good. I'm gonna go with the trios match for the titles as the best match on the card, and I'm gonna go with Hobbs and what's the other guy's name? I forgot.
Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks as
Okay.
the worst match on the card. Yeah. That's
JD,
what I
do
think.
me some kind of justice.
I can't go as high as you, Campo, but I can't go as low as a 7. I'm giving it a 7.9.
I'll take it.
Just
That's
shy of
a
8.
good score.
Just shy of 8, only because of the fact that they're getting better with the timing of their matches.
Mm.
They're not as long.
And there was 15 matches.
Right. And the fact that 15 matches, this show would have gone on till 2 a.m.
That is
a year
true.
ago.
It felt pretty good. Okay, I'll give it a 7.2. I'll give it.
Oh, here we go.
Putty.
Yeah,
Let's
I agree.
go.
I agree.
I'll stick with the 7 just because of the fact that
Well-
the matches, a lot of the matches were not memorable.
Well,
Yeah.
That's just me. I that's how I feel.
But they were good matches, and it
They were
kept me
good.
entertained.
They're
Yeah,
not
and it kept me
memorable.
entertained, and that's why I'm giving it a higher
Well, see-
score. Like I said, they're getting better with the timing of their matches. The thing that takes a lot of points away from me is placement of the matches on the card.
Yes. That's
They
fair.
need to get better with that. There's some of the
Yeah.
matches on this card, they could have flip-flopped, they could have eliminated a couple matches, they could have swapped a couple matches from the pre-show to the main event. Like that Puck match should have been the co-headliner instead of the Darby Allin match, if you ask me.
Yes.
But that was really high, but I'm going to agree with Campo on my matches. The match of the night was definitely that trios match, Omega, to the point where I watched that match 3 times. That's how good it was.
I watched it twice today.
And the worst match was the Cargill match. I was expecting more from Athena, the botches and how short it was. And that just was
that's not her. That's not her. So for that to happen was just like blowing my mind.
Yeah.
That
and
Cargill was not the cause of the botches. It was
No.
Athena.
It was Athena. And that's where I lost a lot of points too. But I mean, a 7.9 out of 10.
That's one of your better scores. I'll take it.
I'm
very happy.
Is. Like, I think there's only a couple shows there's only one show that got better, and that was Forbidden Door. So,
I mean, it was a good show, but like I said, I think for me, I might even would have given it a better score. Was I didn't get to have that pacing, sitting down and watching it completely through without having.
But that's
to
what I mean,
focus on
and
it.
I think that might have been an advantage and a detriment to you as well, because the fact that I sat through the whole thing and never wanted to stop watching was crazy to me, because
I watched all the
this many.
The only time I fast
Revolution?
forward was the boring, like the vignettes. Or
Yeah,
the,
so did I, but
Yeah,
I
but-
always do that for all wrestling. But the Double or Nothing and Revolution both could not hold my attention for the entirety of the pay-per-views. Forbidden Door did, but Forbidden Door also had way less matches, and the pre-show sucked. This was like the whole thing was just like, even the bad matches they were only 4 minutes.
Yeah,
Tony Khan's learning.
he's learning little by little. And the reason behind my score too is my cousin's fiance, who's never watched wrestling a day in his life, sat down and watched the trios match and was like completely enthralled by Kenny Omega.
I just think that they're just understanding what to do, because that women's match was one of the best women's matches I've ever seen.
Yep.
And it still wasn't even that good of a match. And the fact that they're learning how to build up these divisions instead of just giving us these Jade Cargill versus Athena matches all the time that we're like, they're just fine.
Yep.
They're learning what to do with their good female wrestlers. They're learning what to do with their good guy wrestlers, their male wrestlers. I just wish they stopped booking these dumb storylines for Darby Allin that take up a semifinals place in my pay-per-views.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny you say that too, because the thing is, Darby Allin was one of those things that
all three of them were a dumbass storyline.
Yep.
All three matches.
Either way. But the point is, I feel like they're just throwing him out there because there's again, Darby Allin and Sting now go together. It's
you know what I want to see Darby Allin do? You get him in the casino ladder match. Put him in a match where he's going to jump off the ceiling and go through 19 tables. That's how I want to see Darby Allin.
What I want to see.
I don't want to see him in a dumb storyline with House of Black where they're getting dogged constantly. They're such a good team. They're all four of them are amazing, and we're treating them like they're mid-carders. They should be way up there.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Rant over. So on that note, guys, you got our scores, you got our thoughts. Definitely go out of your way to watch that trios final match. Guaranteed you'll have a good watch with that. Stay tuned next week. Next Tuesday, I'm not sure if all of us will be back, but we'll be reviewing both Clash at the Castle and the Worlds Collide pay-per-view. I had fun with that one. So you'll find out our thoughts on that next week. So with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us. You'll find the links for these guys all down and below, and we'll see y'all next time.